Awesome. Okay. All right. Thanks, Brooks, for taking the time to join me today, man. I'm grateful to have you on this conversation with me. So for the person watching this video, if you could just share, your name, where you live at, and what your farm operation looks like.
Yeah, so I'm Brooks Reed, north central Missouri. Been farming about 3,500 acres. Had a cow herd, but moved away from that in the last year. And I got a wife and a son, and would like to spend more time with them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, perfect, man. So, okay, you've been in Legacy Farmer for a little bit now, but first question I'll ask you is really what was not working in life and business prior to joining Legacy Farmer? What was the reason for coming in?
So I just the emotional basket case, I guess you'd say. I just really just shut completely down. Couldn't make decisions. When I struggled with just getting to an action point, and knew that there had to be something better.
Yeah. So you felt like, with running 3,500 acres, you got one team member, working with your dad, like just a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of tough to keep stuff focused on what you need to get done.
Oh yeah. And in the small community that here, we just kind of have like one option as far as retailers and people you're dealing with, businesses you're dealing with, and so you kind of you don't have a lot of different ideas on how to do stuff sometimes.
Yeah, there's not too many.
We've always done.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's not too many people changing things, or even there are a lot of people around there in the same boat that you were.
Oh yeah.
Confused, not taking any action.
And nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to talk about how to change it.
Yeah.
All just wanted to complain.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, how'd you feel? What was not working really in personal life though too? Because, coming in and everything, there's some stories and challenges there as well. So share a little bit about that if you would.
There a great disconnect between my wife and I just in our relationship with each other. We both come from family things, from our growing up that we wanted to change when we got married, but when neither of us knew how to do that, and then life gets in the way, and pretty soon you're repeating steps 1 through 17. So,
and wondering if you're ever going to escape it.
Yes.
Shoot. Okay. All right. Well, next question I have for you is what changed once you joined Legacy Farmer? Like you jumped right in too, Brooks. Like I remember the initial phone call with you, like you were in before we even got to the end of the phone call.
Yeah, I was driving down the road in the tractor trying to get beans planted. I mean, it was, I remember right where it was.
So why were you so ready to commit though and get going?
Because I was done with how repeating steps over and over of, wanting better, but not getting there.
Yeah. Okay.
And knew that if there was not change, if change didn't happen, I knew what the end was going to be.
100%. So what was the biggest thing that you noticed changed for you once you got into the network, started going through the training, started joining the coaching calls and just utilizing all the tools and resources we have here? What was the biggest thing that you noticed changed for you?
I realized that my maybe process of, when I failed to act on things, it was a crutch, and there was not taking action. So then I didn't have a clear mind to move forward, to do anything then at that point.
Well, and there were some crucial conversations you had to have too coming in, I remember our first hot seat, like that was what we were working through and trying to get you bigger and utilizing the tools and everything. How long have you been avoiding having those crucial conversations? Because I guarantee you a majority of people watching this video, they are in that same position where there's some crucial conversations they need to have with family members, business partners, or people in their community that they've avoided for years. So share about your experience there.
Crucial conversations, some of them are a 25-year-old topic that's been touched but never dealt with.
Never handled.
And
Feels like
And
this wolf behind you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, what'd you notice change for you? So that's business wise, right? Getting more clarity on exactly what steps to do within the business, getting you focused on the key actions that need to take place. What's the biggest thing you've noticed change for Brooks personally? Okay, so we'll jump back into it. Okay, you were talking about spending time with your son and just creating the space to where you could actually focus on having a good time with him. So share a little bit more there because you were cutting out.
Okay, so let's see, where was I? So so I was there when he got off the bus at 3:30 and was able to stop what I was doing and be able to spend some time with him. And he was open and wanted to share about his day. And and so I engaged him in, hey, let's sit down and play a game. And I got a million things yet to do, but the reason I farm is so I can decide when to work and when not to work. But taught, trained, and conditioned to always work.
The farm always comes first, right?
That's right. That's right.
So true. It's so freaking true. Okay, perfect, man. Well, so out of everything that we do inside a Legacy Farmer, got trainings, coaching calls, all the tools and resources, the accountability, everything that we're doing here. What's your favorite thing about Legacy Farmer?
There's so many, several good points to it. One thing I really like was like the training videos, 10 to 15 minutes, and you know uh, able to consume that content at my pace and when I can get to it. And so there's been days that I've went through several of them, but I was like tending the sprayer, so I had an hour between fill-ups, and could walk through them pretty good. So
do you feel like all those training videos are helping you wrap your head around your business and giving you more clarity on just what steps you need to take to get
yeah get it down into bite-sized pieces where you can start to digest it, and
Yep.
you won't get it all the first time, but
yeah. Well, and you've done 3 different hot seats now on our coaching calls. How valuable have the calls been for you when you've gotten on there and done a hot seat and had feedback and talked about the problem?
So yeah, I mean, and for me, being able to go back to the recording of the hot seat, listening to my very first hot seat, I knew a different side. I knew more of the story than I even got out on the call. Like I was able to see where the story would run astray and get focused on dealing with the issue that was causing the story, not the story.
Yep, 100%. Okay. Well, yeah, man. A lot of guys that come on these calls are like, I just love the coaching calls. And a lot of guys, they listen to the recordings over and over again, and they'll go back. They'll go back weeks or months just because.
I've listened to them before I even joined, back farther back. And then also the sharing of the stacks. I shared with Andy one day. I'm like, man, I didn't even have to stack the topic after reading. And not only his but others. I mean, like, I could have wrote your stack, and so I read the revelation and I agreed with it, and I took action upon something that was gonna fester. It was a situation that had happened 30 minutes ago, and I got right to the action of it.
Well, and that's just the power of the network too, man. All the guys, like, getting off our coaching call here just a little bit, there's 30 guys on there, right? And then having sharing stacks and talking about these problems and issues, like just having the network. A lot of majority of farmers and ranchers, I'd say 99% of them are on an island, and they're dealing with all of these same things that we talk about on a daily basis inside of our network. They're dealing with them completely alone. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. And and in my relationship with my wife, I created my island because to protect her, I didn't share things.
Yep.
Because the whatever the trigger or whatever the emotional point she was at, I didn't want to add to her stress, and then that just created resentment.
And lack of trust too, and it just takes the relationship down another bad journey.
Exactly.
What I would say. But the other thing too is as a man, and this is what a lot of farmers feel, we all carry a lot of pride in what we're building. We all bleed in what we're doing and everything like that. And showing any sign of, hey, like, I'm struggling here, like things aren't working out, like it's hard for a man because it feels like he's letting his family down.
Yeah.
So That's why a lot of guys put themselves on the island. So, okay, last question for you, Brooks. Let's assume, doing Legacy Farmer for a couple of years now. We have over 200 members that we brought in. We have a very active group and things like that. And the biggest thing that I've struggled with is just establishing legitimacy, establishing trust with people that are watching our videos, listening to the podcast, listening to this testimonial, for example. And so what my question is like, if somebody were sitting on the ledge and they were wondering like, okay, I've listened to a bunch of this stuff. I know Legacy Farmers for me, but they were sitting on the ledge, like wondering whether or not they should really do it or whether or not this is truly for real. Like, what's the one thing you would say to that person?
Well, so like I was thinking, here's what I put in my one line item in my stack this morning was that maybe had 3 children, and that was guilt, shame, and the pit. So yeah, I mean, it's not it's and they play tricks on you. So
Yeah. So if someone asks you, Brooks, hey, I saw your testimonial with Jason. I know that you're in Legacy Farmer. Should I be in it? What would you say?
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you saying that too, man, because it's just, I bleed into this. I would go to war for you guys and do anything I could because I know what you guys are dealing with on the other ends. And, my success is your success, and I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. So, okay. Well, we'll cut it off there, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me today.
Yes. Thank you.